surprises. There's no assigning something on Monday and it's due on a Tuesday. All of the assignments are long-term with lots of time in class to work on them. And so you definitely want to make sure you're using your class time.
We'll go over the color coding in class.
Yes, we will. Kind of the reasons for rigor on this is hopefully a program that you stay with for all 4 years, and we are trying to make sure that you have the soft skills that make you successful in not only high school but college and beyond. And so we have had success with our program. When we have students come back and talk, they always talk sort of about why L2K made college easy for them, or why they were successful in an engineering business, or as an architect because of some of the skills they learned in our program. And so that's why we have the rigor that we do starting at the freshman year.
All right. So things to do, right? How to prepare yourself, what to do. Be confident, right? But don't be too confident. It's always good to come in with a little bit of confidence, but know that you're going to grow and be up for some productive struggle, because that's exactly what you're going to do, right? There is going to be some struggle, and you're going to see it, but to see the bigger picture and to see the growth that's going to be coming. And then work on time management. It's been mentioned before about the procrastination piece, and it really is a piece that everyone battles. And so that time management is something that we will continue to talk about, and building a timeline and how to complete these projects. But just have that mindset going into it already. Using class time wisely. I know Mr. Fleischman talked about the building relationships, and it is good. It's very good that L2K creates this community, and you'll have some social time. But you want to pick and choose how you use your time, right? There was a lot of that white space in the calendar, which is work time. And so you can either choose to spend that time socializing or choose to work on a log or a speech or whatever it may be. So just use your time wisely, especially as I know a lot of L2K students are managing sports and clubs and other activities. So it's all about figuring out when to do what. And then choosing high interest topics. The beauty of L2K is that you can choose what to do your log on. You can choose what to do your speech on. Sometimes that can be very overwhelming, but that's also an opportunity to find what you're interested in and dive deeper. So it's a kind of a rare thing that you can just choose literally anything to write about or to do your speeches about, provided that you can find some STEM in there. But that opportunity is still there, and so we really encourage you to find things that you're interested in, because it makes it way more fun to write those papers and do those speeches. And you'll find it's easier. If you have to grind out a paper on something that you're not interested in, you're going to drag your feet. You're not going to want to do it. But if you're interested in that topic, you want to do the research. You want to dive deeper. You want to ask people about it. And so that's really what we're looking for. Things not to do, right? I said be confident. Don't be cocky, right? We don't want to come in thinking that we know everything and know how to do everything, because that's what we're here to do, is to grow. Don't complain, right? I know it's a lot of work. We all know it's a lot of work. We know that there's going to be feedback that you don't like. But if we're constantly complaining, you're not actually doing that growth that we're looking for. We talked about the procrastination piece and the topics. If you just pick out a topic because it sounds STEMmy, right? Like I said, it's going to be really hard to do a really good job and be interested in it.
All right, parents. I got nominated for this slide because I actually have 2 high school, well, I'm a college educated in high school. So I've been in your shoes recently, and as we speak, we will send home a syllabus. You should familiarize yourself with that. Look at the calendar. We'll give your kids a calendar that's color-coded on the first day of class, or at least the first week of class. I would look at it when rubrics get sent home or posted in Schoology. Ask your students if you can see those rubrics. Print them out if they don't come home with a print copy, so you can look at it. And if you have questions, you can always use that rubric when you're talking to us to try to get some clarification on a grade or something that messed up. Because we aren't perfect, we will make mistakes, and it's okay to call us on those at times. Help your students to see that feedback is constructive. Mr. and I are both English teachers. teachers, so we read a lot of papers, and we write a lot of comments, and we both have pretty high standards for what is good writing. It doesn't mean what you turn in first isn't good. We're just going to try to make you better than when you first started that. And then monitor their progress. If you see grades go in that are alarming to you, ask them about it. Ask us about it if you can't get an answer from them. I think all three of us are pretty responsive in that regard. Let them do the work. I tried to help my older son as much as I could, and then I just realized I wasn't helping him by forcing him to do work that he didn't really want to get done. Now he's in college and he just does it on his own. It's an amazing thing. My younger son, I never say anything to him about school. He just kills it. He works hard, does his job, never have to get involved with that. Your kids are here for a reason. I don't suspect that they procrastinate and do a bad job in school, or else they probably wouldn't be in this room. Support their journey. It's going to be at times a bit of a struggle, especially when the assignments build up and there's 3 or 4 going on at once. That can be a challenge. Working with, like when we put people in groups to do speeches, they may not be working with their best friends. It's hard sometimes to get along with people who you don't always talk to. We try to create a classroom where you can get around and meet everybody and do things, but if everyone goes back to where they're comfortable, which is completely fine. But that collaboration piece can be a little bit of a struggle, but we all can. There's people here who I work with, but you do the best you can to make things go. Encourage them to self-advocate. I would hope that they would, if they had a question about a grade or a comment on a paper or something that they did or feedback we gave on a speech, they should come to us first to get that clarification. And then if you guys want additional clarification, they go home and explain it to you. You guys don't think that's right, feel free to reach out to all of us. Focus on the learning. It's good stuff. I have 0 STEM background, but I love this program since I started teaching it. And like Ms. West was talking about, choosing topics that are interesting to you. Like I'm a pretty big sports guy, so I would choose. There's science and math in just about every athletic type of competition you can think of. I probably would have written 5 blogs about baseball in some form or fashion. But I would learn. And there's our little pyramid, students, you are the most important people in this process. Parents, Ms. West, Ms. Stern, and I are just there to support you guys, and we will do literally anything you need to help you out.
We do have high expectations, and so with that, we do have what is called academic or behavior probation. What happens if a student is on probation is if they have a grade drop lower than a C. So if you have a grade that is a D or an F in any class, you would be informed as the student and as the parent that you have 9 weeks to correct that. If you correct it and you raise your grade back up to a C or higher, it's you're still in the program in good standing. It's the same with if there is any behavior referrals. We expect Legacy 2000 students to be leaders within the Legacy community. But again, if there is any incident, Mrs. West or myself will contact the parents. You will get a letter that goes over the probation format, and then you have 9 weeks to be returned to good standing in the program. If at the end of the 9 weeks, for instance, if you had a D in math and you don't get that grade up, then you are, at the end of that semester, removed from Legacy 2000. And so that is the probation program. Again, we are your 3 sort of freshman teachers. This is our contact information. We will, again, have the video of the night posted as well as the PDF of the PowerPoint for you to review.